It's been the first time I've been in a room full of people that have been in a long time.
Look at all of them smiling out there.
Yeah. In today's culture, it's hard to find everybody happy sometimes. That's a good sight to see.
Yes, it is.
Bobby, you happy?
I'm happy.
Mayor?
Feel good.
Dr. Weeks, with your permission, we'll bring this meeting to order. Okay. Steve, if you'll come around first, bring your family up. Last time I did this, we all was wearing COVID masks. I'm telling the truth, right over there, man, everybody had a mask on, we take a picture, people was reciting, and nobody know who was saying what. Okay, Steve, put your hand on the Bible, please, and say aye in your name.
I, Robert Stephen Ayers,
Do you solemnly swear that you will uphold the Constitution and salute statutes of the United States and the state of Tennessee, and that as a school board member of Robertson County, that you will faithfully execute the office to which you have been elected? I do. Okay. Now, I need you to repeat that right there.
as an elected member of the Robertson County Board of Education, I accept the high honor and trust that has been placed in me to ensure that the children in this district receive the best education available anywhere in the United States of America. In accepting this position, I hold the pursuit of that goal as my sacred duty. I will maintain fidelity to these commitments and will be held accountable by my fellow board members should I fail to live up to this oath. So help me God.
Okay. Now, if you will, look over what you're swearing to, and please sign it. And Dr. Weeks will be the witness. Okay, Mr. Ayers, by the authority invested in me from the citizens of Robertson County, I declare this board member to be duly elected, and please join me in a round of applause and congratulations. I ain't working with my people. Congratulations. Thank you. Connie, you come next. Let's do beautiful age.
I'm okay with that.
All right, Bob, you come too. Hand on the Bible. Say aye. Who are you?
Bonnie Hogan.
Do you solemnly swear that you oppose the Constitution and statutes of the United States and the state of Tennessee, and as a school board member of Robertson County, that you will faithfully execute the office to which you have been elected? Okay, now read your part.
As an elected member of the Robertson County Board of Education, I accept the high honor and trust that has been placed in me to ensure that the children of this district receive the best education available anywhere in the United States of America. In accepting this position, I hold the pursuit of that goal as my sacred duty. I will maintain fidelity to these commitments and will be held accountable by my fellow board members should I fail to live up to this oath. So help me God.
Okay, you looked over all your duties. Will you please sign? Dr. Weeks, a witness. Okay. By the authority vested in me and the citizens of Robertson County, I declare this board member to be duly elected. And please join me in a round of applause and congratulations. Thank you. Scott?
I'm last.
Not because you
That's 'cause
Demetrius, you last too?
No, it's,
she's
not
2 years
this
away.
year.
Not you
Not
this year?
this year. How are you? Good to see, I didn't see you.
Okay.
Yeah.
State your I and your name.
I, Scott Rice,
Do you solemnly swear that you will uphold the Constitution and statutes of the United States and the state of Tennessee, and as a school board member of Robertson County, that you will faithfully execute the office to which you have been elected?
I do.
Okay, you got your part you need to read now.
Put these on. As elected member of the Robertson County Board of Education, I accept the high honor and trust that have been placed in me to ensure that the children of this district receive the best education available anywhere in the United States of America. In accepting this position, I hold pursuant of that goal as my sacred duty. I will maintain fidelity to these commitments and will be held accountable to my fellow board members. And shall I fail to live up to this oath, so help me God.
Have you looked over your duties?
Yes, I have.
You will sign it, that the doctor will witness it. Okay, by the authority vested in me from the citizens of Robertson County, I declare this board member to be duly elected, and join me in a round of applause and congratulations. Last but not least,
I'm last.
not least,
Me and my brother and cousin. That's what most people think anyway.
We're not really. That's all we're doing.
Y'all, we are not kin, I promise.
We got some
They
family.
wouldn't claim it.
Got some family.
All right.
Got some family there.
Jeff, will you still state your name?
Got some
Yes.
family.
Say aye. You need a Bible.
Here we go.
Here, I'll vote for you.
Well, Lisa, you wanna come home? Lisa, come home about it.
We'll be in the picture anyway.
Which one you want on the ballot?
I think you're supposed to put your right hand.
Just like that, right hand, just left.
Hey, do you solemnly swear that you will uphold the Constitution and statutes of the United States and the state of Tennessee, and that as a school board member of Robertson County, that you will faithfully execute the office to which you have been elected?
Yes, sir, do it, sir.
Okay, I need you to read the school board.
All right. As an elected member of the Robertson County Board of Education, I accept the high honor and trust that have been placed in me to ensure that the children of this district receive the best education available anywhere in the United States of America. In accepting this position, I hold the pursuit of that goal as my sacred duty. I will maintain fidelity to these commitments and will be held accountable by my fellow board members should I fail to live up to this oath. So help me God.
Have you read all the duties of your office?
Yes, sir, I have.
Okay, sign it. Let Dr. Weeks witness it. Okay, authority vested in me from citizens, the smart citizens of Robertson County. I declare this board member to be duly elected. Please join me in a round of applause and congratulations. Thank you, Jeff.
I wanted to take a minute, you know me, I'll take a minute too. I do want to say, this is my 5th term, and this is one thing that this board holds very true and treasured. It's one of the very first things we read, and that is we will place the interests of children above all others in every decision that we make. So that's one of the main things that we do.
Well, I've been in county government since 1998. Wow. I have to say, this board here, I've never thought that they wouldn't do what their job would be to do. It takes a lot of courage to be on the school board. You just have to know it. Right, gang?
Yes.
Thank y'all for this honor.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right, all families, y'all please, if y'all would like to go, y'all are more than welcome to. Mine's already skedaddling, so.
We have new seats open on the front row.
Board members and audience, as you know, at our September meeting, we start with a new slate of officers. But before we do that, I would ask that we observe our moment of silence. So if you would join me, please. Thank you for that. If you would please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Tonight's Pledge of Allegiance will be led by a group of students from IA.
Stand, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
These students are being recognized for having 5s on their AP test, so they're going to tell you their name and what their score was in.
My name is Brinley Massey. I received a 5 in AP US History and AP English Language and Composition.
My name is Corey Becker. I received a 5 in AP US History, and I also received a 5 in AP English Language and Composition.
My name is Carolee Stokes, and I received a 5 in AP Human Geography.
My name is Nadia Shaker, and I received a 5 in AP Human Geography.
My name is Johnny Zhang, and I received a 5 in Human Geography.
My name is Will, and I also received a 5 in AP Human Geography.
Thank you, Dr. Bell, for bringing these excellent students to lead our pledge tonight. We would like to read our mission statement. Our mission is that each student is prepared to succeed in life. Our vision is that Robertson County Schools will enable all students to reach and exceed high academic and career standards while empowering them to succeed in a culturally diverse and technically advanced society. Our overarching ideals for our district this year are to create a climate and culture which refines relationships, respects traditions, recognizes excellence, provide high-quality teaching and learning by raising expectations, reestablishing our foundations, and removing barriers. Board members, at this time, I would open the floor for nominations for Chairman of the Board of Education to serve for a one-year term, 24-25 school year.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate Ms. Connie Hogan for chair.
Have a nomination for Ms. Connie Hogan and a second.
Second.
Are there other nominations?
Question.
Seeing no other nominations, the question has been called for. Ms. Connie Hogan has been nominated for Chairman of the Board of Education for 24-25. If you're in favor of doing that by acclamation, if you would please say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? Congratulations, Ms. Connie. This time we'll take nominations for the position of Vice Chair of the Board for the 24-25 school year. Are there nominations for the Vice Chairman?
I'd like to make a motion that Mr. White here beside me, Mr. Josh White, be our Vice Chairman.
Second.
There's a proper motion and a second that Mr. Josh White be elected as Vice Chair. Are there other nominations? Are there other nominations?
Call for the question.
Hearing none, so there is a recommendation that we elect Mr. Josh White, Chairman of the Board, by acclamation. If you're in favor of that motion, if you would please say aye.
Aye.
And anyone opposed? Congratulations, Mr. White. Our last official position on the Board of Education is our Tennessee Legislative Network representative to work with our state and local legislators. Is there a nomination for the Tennessee Legislative Network representative?
I'd like to nominate Ms. Demetria White, please.
Yes.
There's a nomination for Ms. Demetria White.
Second.
There is a second. Are there other nominations? Hearing none, the motion on the floor is to elect Ms. Demetria White as our Tennessee Legislative Network representative. If you're in favor of electing her by acclamation, if you would please say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? Congratulations, Ms. White. Ms. Hogan, if you would come down, we will,
I'll do it now.
you are officially.
I'm giving it to you right now.
Give me any time. Come on, y'all.
It's a little pressure,
You see?
Well, Stephen, you've done great.
Thank you, Steve.
We'll do that later. Making me move my name tag. Thanks.
You get to hang out with me on this end.
That's a lot of fun down there. Oh, I don't know about the two of them together. Okay. Back together just a little bit. We're ready now? All right. Okay, board members, you have before you some items on a consent agenda, quite a few of them. I trust that you have looked over those. What is your pleasure?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by Scott. I'm sorry, I didn't catch the second. There were two, and I didn't.
I heard one from over there, I think, before me.
Stephen, okay. All right. Okay, all those in favor of approving the consent agenda, make it known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion passes. Staff recognitions, that's your part, I hope.
It
That
is.
is not my part.
And for the record, so it's read into the record, I would like to go back and pick up item number 2. There was no one signed up for public comment on items addressed on the board agenda, so we'll make note of that in the minutes, please. Tonight, we would like to recognize several individuals that are here, and we're thankful for such a wonderful group here to express our appreciation for members for these individuals. First, I'd like to have Ms. Heather Alexander come forward. Ms. Alexander has been elected by her peers to serve as the president of the Tennessee Association of School Librarians during the 25 school year. That means she is president-elect this year. That is a group from all across the state of Tennessee who serves and provides advice on books, on materials, and media that are housed in our schools and for our students. Ms. Alexander has represented Robertson County well on that board for many years, and her peers have recognized her leadership. And Heather, we appreciate your willingness to serve on that board, and we thank you for what you do. So thank you very much. Board members, their second recognitions for staff. I would like to recognize Springfield High School Principal Dr. Chris Tucker, as he brings some individuals who are here on behalf of the Gear Up program, which is a program that is at Springfield High School. And Dr. Tucker, if you'd have your staff members approach the front here, we'll recognize them with a certificate, please.
Yep. If Miss Rebecca, Miss Margaret, Miss Angie, come forward. Dr. Weeks, Chairman Hogan, and board members, Springfield High School is proud to recognize the hard work and dedication of these employees for their service in providing students. We have Miss Rebecca Robertson, Miss Margaret Thompson, and Miss Angie Inman. Miss Leslie Deem is not able to be with us here tonight. And they've worked faithfully with our Gear Up program since the 2018 school year. They've served 1,581 students throughout the grant cycle. This includes the cohort 8th grade class as well as each senior class. Provided over 23,000 hours of service for students that included college and career advising, financial aid advisement, including Tennessee Promise, FAFSA completion, college visits, tutoring, mentoring, parent and family engagement nights, and numerous other activities. College going rate for Springfield High School increased from 2022 to 2023. The data lags behind because they follow post-secondary matriculation rates. But that increased by 9% to 46% of students who enrolled at a post-secondary institution. And I know that seems like just a number, but that is a lot of folks that may have not otherwise entered into a college institution because of the hard work of these ladies. And they made a tremendous impact throughout that grant cycle. For those of you that do not know, that is a federal grant that flows through state resources, and we were very fortunate to have that for several years. And as a former school counselor, I will say that there's many times that you just felt like you didn't get to spend enough time digging into barriers and things in terms of transportation and other things that may be a barrier to post-secondary access. And these ladies did, and Ms. Inman still continues to do the work of continuing to try to track down students and really get into the weeds of what is the plan and what are the barriers to college. And so we want to commend them for their work and their commitment, and I believe we've got some certificates we want to present.
Mr. Robertson, I'd like to congratulate you for your work. Thank you very much. Ms. Inman?
Yes, sir.
Congratulations, thank you. Ms. Thompson, congratulations, thank you. Dr. Tucker, thank you for hosting this grant program. Board members, our last set of recognitions this evening is quite lengthy, but it's very worthy of our time. We, as you know, the TCAP testing program is very important to our students and to our staff and to the state of Tennessee. And this evening, I would like to recognize Mr. Lewis Walling, our Director of Testing and Data. He has the list of names. For our audience purposes, we're going to do this by grade level. And we're going to start with third graders and work our way up through eighth graders. Mr. Josh White, could I have you come help present certificates to third graders? These are students at their grade level and subject level that Mr. Walling is going to mention have the highest scores in their grade level for the entire district. Mr. Walling?
Thank you, Dr. Weeks. Board, ladies and gentlemen of the board, it is an honor and a privilege to be able to stand here and make these recognitions tonight. Sometimes I get to stand before you and deliver not so great news, but tonight I am thrilled to be here because this is fun to get to recognize all of these folks. So I'm going to start with each of our grade levels and then subjects. I would ask if you wait, let me get all the grade level up here and then we'll recognize them all together. So in third grade English, the highest score in the county was from Callan Malik. I also have a set of math awards from third grade, and as I point these out, I want to make sure that I also point out not only did they have the highest scores in the district, but they all have perfect scores. Scarlett Butler, Aaron Harris, Aiden Jones, Callan Malik,
This is Cal.
Ramsey McClellan, Waylon West, and I skipped one, Caden Newfield.
I'll be quick, Josh. I'll be quick.
That's right. And also in the third grade for science, also with perfect scores, Braylon Harlan and Callan Malik. These schools, the schools represented here range from Heritage Elementary, Coopertown Elementary, Greenbrier Elementary, and East Robertson Elementary. Students, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to ask you to follow Ms. Levitt around to pictures next door. And then moms and dads, if you want to sneak out to the room next door to get pictures, you're more than welcome to. We'll move on to our fourth graders. In fourth grade English with a perfect score. And I would also add, for this young man, he was the only student in Robertson County Schools to receive a perfect score in English. From East Robertson Elementary, Noah Laverne.
Mr. Walling, if you'll wait just a second, we can't get them out the door.
Gotcha. Didn't know that's where they were. I don't have it either. Noah, or you Noah? No, okay. Fourth grade English Language Arts, Mr. Noah Laverne. Fourth grade Math, Ella Hollingsworth. Fourth grade Science, Caden Boucher. Riley Bishop. Kylan Brummett. Tristan Calvo. And Bennett Coffey. And these are our fourth grade students from East Robertson Elementary, Kreisel Elementary, Watauga, Greenbrier Elementary, and Heritage. Now our fifth grade students, fifth grade English, Mr. Nathaniel Mallett. Right over here. Fifth grade math, and I will point out that all of these also are perfect scores. Aegis Becker. Charles Poole. Colin Roque. Oliver Suarez Bolanos. Isabella Tisdale. Milo True. Jada Tucker. Our fifth grade students representing Heritage Elementary, Crestview Elementary, Greenbrier Elementary, Watauga Elementary, and Kreisel Elementary. Thank you. If you all slide back, we'll take pictures. Thank you, Ms. Watt. Everybody wants you tonight. Got to go see the paparazzi. I think we're going around this way.
Sixth grade for us, please.
Our sixth grade students, come on up, guys. As I call your name, Miss Hogan will present you with a certificate. Right there, bud. You're right there.
And he wanted the fifth grade.
Recognizing sixth grade English, Mr. Jackson Fryer. Seventh grade. Uh-oh. Well, let's skip to seventh grade then. For seventh grade, I'll recognize for English, Mr. Jansen Hawkins.
You were sixth grade last year.
Okay. All right, you got me all off track. I'm going to go back to sixth grade now. Last year's sixth graders. It's confusing for me too, don't feel bad. Mr. Fryer, are you here? Yes, you're up. Jackson Fryer, English. I have several sixth grade math students, all with perfect scores. Miss Lillian Armstrong. Logan Dillard. Jenna Hubble. Robin Juan Domingo. Luke Marshall. Cecilia Ramsey. Roman Seals, and Preston Smith. And now for sixth grade science, Haley Robertson. And sixth grade social studies, Preston Smith. He's a double. Our sixth grade students representing Innovation Academy, Heritage Elementary, and Greenbrier Middle. Thank y'all. Come on around. Come on around and get the pictures. Our eighth grade students for eighth grade English, Miss Rebecca Malik. For eighth grade math, Bradley Conaway. Eighth grade science, Wyatt Johnson. Missing eighth graders tonight. Also eighth grade science, Taylor Love.
It's seventh grade.
Okay. We're going to start again. Seventh grade English, Jansen Hawkins. No? Still no.
Yes.
Seventh grade English, Ava Wampler. Seventh grade math with a perfect score, Jude Cannell. Seventh grade science with a perfect score, Rowan Plouch. And seventh grade social studies, Aiden Fan. All right, that's our seventh grade folks representing White House Heritage High, Innovation Academy, and East Robertson High School. You guys can step around here. We'll take some pictures in the next room. All right. I think we're doing eighth grade now. At this point, I'm just going to let them tell you who they are. You guys are current ninth graders, right? Good. Okay. So we're going to recognize our eighth grade English, Miss Rebecca Malik. You come see Mr. Eighth grade math, Bradley Conaway. Eighth grade science, Wyatt Johnson. Also eighth grade science, Taylor Love. And eighth grade social studies, Karez Omer. Our eighth grade students representing White House Heritage High and Innovation Academy. One more set of pictures next door, guys.
Thank you, guys.
And our last group is our high school students. So we do want to recognize those in our end of course test. We do have one that's a little bit of an aberration, so I want to make sure I point it out. Mr. Christopher Mallett, come on up. Now, you may have noticed him come out with an earlier group. That's because Christopher is a little ahead of time and took Algebra 1 as a 7th grader and had a perfect score. I also have, and we'll recognize them, at least so it's online, in English 1, Eden Roush. In Geometry, Wells King. Algebra 2, Tristan Forehand. Biology, Elijah Cannell. Biology, Liam Pruitt. English 2, Emma Evans. U.S. History, Anthony Kopov. Our high school students representing Innovation Academy, Springfield High School, Robertson County Virtual School, and White House Heritage High. You guys will step next door and get a picture. Thank you all.
Anybody left can go have a picture with Mr. Wally.
That's right.
Sorry about it. Now the rest of it. Yeah, really. Hey, Ronnie.
Go ahead. Okay, board members, we'll get back to our meeting. The next item on our agenda is the personnel reports.
Board members, if you look at page 65 in your packets, you'll see our personnel report. We do have an announced retirement. We do have several actions taken by the HR department, resignations, leaves of absence, new hires. You'll see that page continued over to page 66. Again, we're in pretty good shape overall in terms of personnel. We do still need some special education teachers, and we have put out several advertisements seeking special education teachers and provided some incentives for those employees. On page 67, you'll see the classified personnel report. You see leaves of absence, retirements, resignations, transfers, reassignments, and new hires. Would also draw your attention to that list. I believe that finalizes our volunteer coaching list.
Okay, any questions on personnel report? Okay, we'll move on to item 6A, budget amendment.
Board members, while we're on the topic of business and finance, I would draw your attention that there is not a comparison report for comparing our July expenses to previous year July expenses because of the start of the new year and the things like that. It's very negligible at this point in time, so you'll see that there is no report of that. There is a brief financial report in your consent agenda. I know you've had opportunity to look at that. However, as we prepared our budget, item 6A, you'll see on page 69, the finance office prepares this document for us called operating transfers. This helps the county overall budget as the school is funding some debt service on an HVAC project. And so the finance office has given this amendment to us in order that we make this transfer. So you see the operating transfer of $1,250 into debt service, and we're taking that from the HVAC line. So $1,250 is a balanced amendment. With your approval tonight, we will carry this to the County Finance and Budget Committee tomorrow evening.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve this amendment to the budget as presented?
So moved. Second.
Okay, motion made by Mr. White, second by Mr. Rice. I said Mr. White. That's a. Did you get which one, Ms. Donna? Okay. I forget. Okay. All right. Any discussion or any other questions? Okay. All those in favor of approval, make it known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes 6-0. Next item on the agenda is approval of exam exemption pilot.
Board members, at our last meeting, we had quite an extensive discussion on attendance and how attendance has continued to decline over the years, particularly since COVID. And we have looked and shared with our principals and had some discussion with principals about the idea of increasing the emphasis on attendance this year. We've had preliminary reports from our principals indicating that they are pleased with what we have seen so far. And we've, again, just stressed that, communicated that message to our student body as well as to staff members, and it's been communicated well throughout the community. At our last meeting, board members, you asked that we also consider adding an exam exemption program for our students for this year. And so this is a high school exam exemption pilot program for the 24-25 school year. It is located on page 70 in your packets. We'd read this to you, and again, so that our public can understand this. We would propose that we start this pilot program this Wednesday. So that way, if someone has had some absences already, we wanted to be fair and upfront with our public in order to allow them to see what the exemption pilot is, give them time that if they happen to have some illness or things over the weekend, get those cleared out. If we pass this today, advertise it and publicize it tomorrow, we would propose starting this on September 11th, which is Wednesday. And it says basically, item number 1, if a student has an A in the course with no more than 3 excused absences, they would be exempt from their exams. Or, number 2, if a student has a B in the course, they may have no more than 2 excused absences. And 3, a student who has no more than a combined total of 5 tardies or early dismissals would be exempt from their exams. The second paragraph says a student who has been suspended out of school is not eligible for an exemption. In any case, students may choose to sit for an exam, and the system recognizes the familiarity with cumulative assessments is essential to college-level academic work. So if a student believes he or she can improve their grades on that exam, we would encourage them to do so with a hold harmless clause academically. So if they did poorly or performed poorly on their exam, it would not count against them. Students and their families are counseled that students should remain home while they're sick. So that's our message to students at all times. If you are sick, you need to stay home, but if at all possible, that we can schedule appointments, early dismissals, family vacations, family trips, and other like events. School attendance is very important. Students cannot learn effectively before a teacher when they are not at school. And so this is taken from the framework that was part of a policy in the last 10 years or so.
Pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID, I would say. And so we would like to bring this back, and rather than placing it in a policy that might need some modifications or tweaks, we would like to use this as a pilot project for our 6 high schools this year. Be glad to answer any questions. Dr. Pruitt is here also. He's crafted this policy for us and will be available for questions as well.
Just to make sure I'm just clear, number 3 applies to 1 and 2. Right.
That's
so
correct.
Just because a student, if they make a C, they're not exempt. Okay. It has to be an A or B. Okay. Just make sure.
And when we reference tardies, that would be tardies to school or early dismissals from school, not particularly tardies within the school day to that class.
Make a motion if we're ready.
I'm ready. That's what I was coming.
Yeah, I'll second the motion.
Okay, motion by Mr. Jeff White, second by Mr. Stephen Ayers. Any questions or other discussion?
And I'll go back to what Scott said, and I'm not positive on the wording. I know that staff understands how this is going to be implemented, but should we have some ands or ors put in there on 1, 2, and 3?
I'd almost suggest like a 1A and a 2A underneath that same sentence number 3 to apply to number 1 and number 2.
Right.
To me, it was just a little confusing the way it was written with 3 separate things.
Okay.
I'm sure people understand it, but I think a little clarification.
I know that this group out here understands it. There's no problem, but I just wonder about other folks who read it. I'd like to make sure they understand it as well.
So if we had the words or 1, or 2, and 3?
Yeah, I just want to make sure that 3 is understood. It goes with 1 and 2.
Yes, sir.
If you meet requirement number 2, you still have to meet requirement number 3, and the same with part number 1.
Yeah.
I probably just made it way.
And I'd like to leave that open for y'all to discuss as y'all's department, because that's where it needs to be. As far as that wording, I just suggest that we do something there so that everybody understands it.
Yes, sir. With your approval of that, we will get that clarified tomorrow, and distributed out. It will go out via InTouch or School Reach Messenger, and we'll also send it out to all families through email.
Okay.
And then we'll begin on Wednesday.
Okay. Any other discussion?
And I think it's great we're starting it on Wednesday and not going back.
Right.
I like that.
I think that's fair.
Right. Anything else? Okay, we have a motion on the floor to approve. You are in favor of approval, make it known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion passes 6-0. Next item is approval of school board policies on first reading.
Good evening, Chairman Hogan, board members, and Dr. Weeks. Reflective of model policies from TSBA, 4 policies are being presented for approval. The first policy is 4.201, Basic Program. Public Chapter 712 modifies class size requirements to allow greater flexibility in career and technical education class sizes for grades 6 through 8. Additionally, the name of this policy will change from Basic Program to Class Size Ratio. In the current policy, information on curriculum and graduation credit maximums is redundant. Do you have any questions?
It looks like it's going to be a 3-sentence policy.
Second policy, 4.600, grading system. A recent change to State Board of Education regulations revises the percentage points for dual enrollment courses from 4% to 5% for the purpose of calculating semester average grades beginning in the 2024-25 school year. Additionally, Public Chapter 1005 prohibits creating a local grading policy or procedure that establishes a minimum grade above 0. Do you have any questions? Third policy, 4.603, promotion and retention. 2 new state laws make further changes to promotion and retention. Public Chapter 829 allows parents, guardians to voluntarily retain their students in grades K2 if the student has a documented academic or behavior delay and the parent guardian believes retention may benefit the student. Additionally, Public Chapter 989 creates a new promotion pathway to the 5th grade for students facing possible retention in the 4th grade. Under the new law, when certain students do not meet adequate growth on the ELA portion of the 4th grade TCAP test, a committee, including the student's parent guardian, ELA teacher, and principal, will convene to determine whether the student will be promoted or retained. Each category of participants in the committee may make a recommendation to promote or retain the student. For example, if 2 parents attend the commit meeting, they still only get to contribute one of the 3 total recommendations. If at least 2 of the 3 committee members agree that the student is ready for the 5th grade, then that student may be promoted, provided they participate in mandatory tutoring for the entirety of their 5th grade year. That's a lot of information. And if you've ever looked at the flow chart, you understand you really need to be Angel Williams to understand it. So all questions you might have can be answered quite well from Angel, but do you have any questions? The last policy, 4.70, testing programs. The State Board of Education updated Regulation 0520-01-03-.03 at its August meeting. This revision lowers the potential weighting for EOC scores to a range of 5 to 15%. It is recommended that the current weighting for EOC scores remain at 15% for all EOC courses. The only revisions to this policy include minor wording updates. Do you have any questions? And I will point out one thing in that particular policy, the word T in ready is in yellow, and that is because that is the way it is presented in statute. We currently have the word assessment there, so we're contemplating leaving it there because really T in ready is outdated. I just don't think they've updated the language in statute, so I did want to make that comment to you. Thank you, Dr. Weeks.
Motion to approve all 4 on first reading.
Okay, motion by Mr. White to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. White. Any other questions, I guess? Well, what else can I say? Okay. Okay, all those in favor of approval, make it known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion passes 6-0. Okay, our next item is transportation and facilities. We have first approval of bid tab number 1562, excavation, concrete pads, and foundations. East Robertson High School, Greenbrier High School, and Joe Burns High School.
Board members, on page 85, item 8A in your packet is bid tab 1562. We are using some of the ISM grant money to build and construct greenhouse facilities at East Robertson, Greenbrier, and Joe Burns. You see the bids, we had 7 or 8 bids submitted. There was a variety of bids from $49,700 all the way up to $186,000. We've asked that the MDI Construction, who is the low bidder, we've looked at that bid carefully to make sure it contains all the expectations, specifically when we have such a discrepancy. But after review of those, we would recommend MDI Construction as the contractor on those 3 projects.
Okay. Have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Josh White, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Ayers. Any other questions? And, you know,
That's really scary, saying
I
a
was fixing to say, it
$40,000.
did hit me.
I almost wish we took the highest and the lowest and kicked them out and worked with what's left. But that is $40,000. What is the difference there?
Clint, do you have any insight?
All I say is they didn't bid it, so they got to do it for
49.7.
Mhm.
We gave them the specs for how the concrete should be done and everything, so they know what we're expecting. Then, we were all surprised too, that when talking to some people that we were over.
Would they like to do some bleacher pads as well?
Compared to what we paid for the bleacher pad, I'm like, yeah, that.
Yeah. Now, thank y'all for finding them. That's the only thing that worries me.
Yeah.
Is $40,000 different.
And this is for the total, not each school.
That's correct.
It's all 3. Maybe they thought that was each school. We're gonna hope.
Boy, they know it for a surprise.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay. All those in favor of approval, make it known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion passes 6-0.
Board members, that item will go to the Budget and Finance Committee meeting tomorrow afternoon.
Okay. Next item is approval of tire bid.
Item 8B is the requested tire bids from our Transportation Department. You see that this bid was spec'd out so that one dealer would receive the entire allotment of purchases for the year. You see we had 4 companies that bid: Best One Tire, Dean Oil, Goodyear Tire, and the Southern Tire Mart. We calculated based on an estimate of tires that we purchased last year and inserted those numbers in the spreadsheet in order to help calculate the price. Best One Tire is the recommendation of low bidder at $92,032.04. And again, that's a number for comparative purposes, so that's not a specific bid in and of itself, but it rather the individual tire prices are what you're actually approving. So, for instance, most of those tires run near $200, and you'll see those. So we're not approving the amount of $92,032. That's a comparative number of what we purchased this year times the price that they bid. So you're actually approving, for instance, a 225/75/16 small bus tire at $138.60, and so that's how you would read the rest of that column. So we're recommending tires be purchased from Best One Tire for the upcoming year.
Okay.
Motion to approve the bid from Best One Tire.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Ayers, second by Mr. Rice. Any questions? All those in favor of approval, make it known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion passes 6-0. Next item is approval of school bus purchase.
Mr. Heinerman, on page 90, item 8C has recommended that we purchase a Type A school bus at the price of $138,000 from a Sourcewell contract. Sourcewell is one of our purchasing cooperatives, and it meets the specifications that Mr. Heinerman would like to see in his buses. So we would recommend approval. Item 8C, purchase of a Type A school bus, $138,000. That is within his budget.
Okay. Any questions?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Rice, second by Mr. White. Mr. Josh White. Any questions or discussion?
So is this in addition to what we budgeted a certain number of buses just a few months ago?
Yes, this is out of that budget.
This is part of that?
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions? All those in favor of approval, make it known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes 6-0. Next item is approval of salvage surplus list from transportation.
Item number 8D on page 91 is a list of items that have been declared either salvage or surplus. So you'll see that those are school buses dating back as far as 1996, 2005. You see partial VIN numbers on those, and you see several cars and other trucks that are there. We would recommend that these be declared surplus or salvage.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Rice, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Ayers. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor of, oh, I'm sorry.
So what will happen on this? Will they be auctioned off? Will they?
We use a government program called GovDeals, gov.deals, and so our surplus items, first of all, we check with other departments within the county to see if anybody needs one of these. Fire department, EMS, or something might need one to practice drills with and things like that. The sheriff's office might need them to, giving buses to other departments to store items in, things like that, used for when they cannot be used on the road. If they're not, they'll be put up on GovDeals for sale.
I don't know how that process works.
Anybody else? Okay, all those in favor of approval, make it known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes 6-0. Next item is approval of application for construction of culinary storage building at Springfield High School.
Board members, item 8E, beginning on page 92, our request from Springfield High School and our CTE programming to add a culinary arts storage building on the back campus at Springfield High School. You see the questions answered on page 92 that explain the nature of that project. Page 94, you see a rough sketch of the proposed building. It is a 24 by 20 building, which will be on the back side of Springfield High School. You see a elevation view on page 95 of what the building will look like. 96, a rough floor plan of that building. This is from ISM grant money, which has come through to our CTE programs. Mr. Corbin has reviewed that. Mr. Gregory's brought that to us on recommendation. I would recommend that we proceed with that, please.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Ayers, second by Ms. White. Any questions or discussion?
If you don't follow our CTE page, so you can see what they're doing in culinary there, it's pretty amazing.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I think that program is, they use all the space they can get.
And I would also highlight, if you look at item number 13 on page 92, our construction class is actually going to be building that. So it's a partnership between both of those programs.
It's also going to add space for HVAC because all their stuff is stored in the space where the HVAC teachers can go that we now have hired for TCAP. So there's 2 or 3 things being accomplished by opening this space up and having so much.
Any other questions? All those in favor of approval, make it known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion passes 6-0. We will move now to the Director of Schools report.
Board members, beside your desk, you should find a sample program from the marching band exhibition that will be tomorrow night. That is at Greenboro High School. Each one of our marching bands has an opportunity to perform their competitive show. A lot of times, parents may not be able to see all of our bands and to see the work that's gone into those, and sometimes the distractions of half times between a ball game. But we're excited to have the opportunity to see and to participate in the band program. You see the order there. And again, just as a reminder that any collections, it is a free event, but donations will be accepted and they will go to the Stephanie Mason Scholarship Fund. So you have that. I encourage you to go out tomorrow evening if you have that opportunity. Also, it is marching band competition season. And so you will see the competitions that several of our schools will be participating in on the orange sheet and the orange flyer that's right behind there. And we'd encourage you again, if you have an opportunity to take part in any of those competitions. Those are long days, but they're exciting days. And Mr. Baker's available to answer any questions if you have questions about those. Next, I was notified that the Tennessee Higher Education Committee has recognized 2 of our high schools for outstanding work with helping students complete the FAFSA. As you know, the FAFSA is the application process for federal financial aid, and we had 2 high schools that did an outstanding job of increasing the number of students who completed their FAFSA applications. And so we would like to recognize and say thank you to the Higher Education Commission for recognizing both East Robertson High School and Joe Burns High School for having either large increases in the percentage of students that have done that or hosted special events so that they could provide parental support and student support in completing those applications. Would mention that our administrative staff has met with all of our principals and been to all 22 of our schools having back to school principals meetings. We've shared with, we've allowed the administrative leadership teams from the buildings to share their goals and plans for the year and see the alignment between what they're doing at schools with us and make sure that's aligned with our district mission, vision, and goals. Our benchmarking tests will be coming up very soon. Our progress reports for the first term have gone out last weekend, and I think we may have had one school send those out today. Would also remind you that our fall sports are wrapping up for football and volleyball. We're in the last couple of weeks of that before their tournaments, and those are exciting times. Parent-teacher conferences, I think we actually had some start this evening, and so we're encouraging parents to come visit with their teacher and talk about the great things that are happening and talk about getting back on track if we've had some folks step away from that. Board members, beside your desks, there is a board member information guide. If you would not mind completing that and leaving that with Ms. Donna before we leave, that'll help us update some records with TSBA. If you need one of those forms, very simple for you to fill out right there. And I would also like to remind you that this Thursday is our fall district meeting for the Mid-Cumberland region. It is in Rutherford County School System at Rockville High School. I think those of you that have notified us that you're registered for that, we will be, registration at Rockville, I believe, is at 4:30. If you need to register, we believe we still have time to get you registered. If you'll let Ms. Trice know this evening, and we'll get you registered for that.
Danny, what time does that start in Rockville, do you know?
Registration's at 4:30. I think the program actually starts at 5.
And if you go in that direction that time of day, you better leave about 1.
If you need directions or anything like that, I think we had 3 registered, 4. Everyone's registered. Great. Okay. I will say we do have an honoree that will be recognized tomorrow night. I'm not supposed to let that out, so I'm not going to announce who that is, but we do have someone who's going to be recognized tomorrow night for their excellent work. So that'll be a part of the program. Ms. Hogan, I believe that's all I have.
Are you done?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Board members, do we have any old business that needs to come before us tonight? Any new business? Then we will move on to comments by board members. Mr. Rice, would you like to go first?
I think I am good. I think we have a retreat, and we're talking about a retreat coming up in October.
Yes, sir. I believe it's the last Friday night and Saturday of October. I think it's 26 comes to mind. We started drafting some items that we'd like to pose for you. If you have other items that you'd like for us to prepare. I have the 25th, be Friday night the 25th. We'll spend, I think we usually would have a dinner and a couple hours of activities there surrounding dinner, and then carry over into Saturday morning.
Did you send something out on that asking us some dates? I gotta double check that. Didn't have that down the 25th. What we have the 25th?
Yes, sir. I think we approved that at our annual calendar
Okay.
back in January.
Yeah.
Are you through, Mr. Rice?
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Okay. How about Mr. Ayers?
Really good night tonight. I always like to point out that I know the students that got those certificates, that was their hard work, 100%. But it always amazes me to see the support systems that's here with them. And that's a big part of their grades, and see these kids that are making the biggest scores, but they've got this, they've each got 3 or 4 people here backing them, and they're backing them at home, and they're supporting them in their schoolwork, and that's what makes it all work. I was just really proud of that. That was really good.
Ms. White?
Well, I feel like I repeat the same thing every time, but I'm going to do it again anyway.
Go ahead.
I'm out and about a lot, and everybody always wants to. It's not about Robertson County. I'm in different counties in with work, and we've just got a lot to be thankful for here in Robertson County. I feel like we've just got good schools, we've got good teachers, we've got good support, and it's amazing all the jobs are almost filled too. It's just a good place to be in. So anyway, thankful for everybody, and I know she's already gone, but it was kind of neat seeing some of the faces that were with people. I had one of my English teachers here tonight, so that was pretty neat. I still want to call her Miss White, but Miss Highsmith.
She was Miss White first.
That's right. That was her name in school, wasn't it?
Another White.
That's right.
Mr. White?
Which one?
Okay. Hey, it was a great night. Stephen, thank you. Great job last year, you and Scott, both of you. If you hadn't done it, you need to do it once, don't you? Yeah. It's very, very
Okay,
time
I've done it once. What happened here?
We thought you needed to do it again.
You missed the meeting where we voted you in, so.
I was at the Greenboro High School behind the visitor section the other day, and are the bleachers there still under warranty of any kind, or do they have a warranty? We now have the second one. Y'all got it? All right, thank you. I was picking up stuff the other day and saw that one grew another one, and it's just part of life, I guess. But they just bent the bleacher just totally down. I'm sure they overloaded it and jumped up and down. And that's part of what you go through. You got one last year, got one this year. Other than that, hey, I'm great to see the house is going up, the greenhouse is going up. I think that's some great projects. I watched some, and I don't know how many of y'all go through the area where Whites Creek High School is. They have a big sale, plant sale every year. And they just have cars lining up on Saturdays to come by and get tomato plants or this, that, and another. And it's a big fundraiser for them because I've watched that as I go back and forth to work. So. But anyway, no, thank you all for all the hard work you do. The ones who are still here is the ones that are still doing all the hard work. So thank y'all. Appreciate it.
I don't have much. Again, Stephen, thank you so much for all your hard work over the past year. One thing, just one observation from earlier, when we were recognizing the test scores for the year. The young man, Chris Malich, that took 8th grade math as a 7th grader and was recognized. Happened to notice, I thought this was cool. I think I counted 3 of his siblings were also recognized for scores in their respective grades. So pretty impressive bunch of kids that sort of recognize it.
Okay, well, I guess I've sat here and joked around about this, okay, y'all, but I do consider it an honor and a privilege to serve. So I appreciate the confidence that you've shown in me. I'll do the best that I possibly can. But I was talking to a school board member in another county, and I won't name the county, but she and I were comparing some things. And it was tough to hear her, what she was going through. And I feel so blessed. Well, that we have your leadership and that we have the school board, all the, the ones that we work with. We're not only school board members, but we're friends. And I appreciate that. And I think we can get more done that way. I will end with saying, y'all know one of my favorite things to do. I went to Bransford last week and visited those little rascals. And they're just the cutest things. They're just so excited to be there. And I went to, I think I told somebody this, I went to West Side. And in one of the classes that, I was just kind of walking by, and I got a new take on the itsy bitsy spider. I taught first grade for 30 years, and I thought I knew everything about the itsy bitsy spider, but I didn't, because they had a whole new take on it. And it was, I say that to say it's just neat to go around and see what's happening in our classrooms. And, I tell people all the time, yes, I was elected by the people. I'm not a politician and never will be. To me and to all of you, I know it's what we can do for the children and the teachers. And so I'll just end with that. Thank you all for coming tonight. Meeting is adjourned. Oh, sorry, I forgot to do that. It's my job.
We're waiting on you to beat that down.
Sorry.